Hello, how long should I hold a swing trade? With long up to long swing trading strategy we are using, how long we like to hold the swing trade by default is depend on when we purchase it after the first new high is reached. We are trading large cap stocks and we like to they reach all-time new high often, and we are using maximum daily chart. We can use few examples, and the first one we are going to use is BX. Today is November 5, 2025, and we are doing the analysis before the market open. So BX is going down, so we trace this support line passing by the valley of the mountain to be where we would like to buy. So when it pull back to this line and start going up from there after we see few higher lows, will want to buy some shares. So how long will we hold it? Well, by default we will want to sell it after it reach a new high. A new high means after it reach all-time new high higher than this peak here. How long it's going to take to get there, we don't know for sure. We can only rely on the past. The last time it left these support lines, which is 2023, the date is on the x-axis from the past to the present, and we have the price from 0 up. So the last time it touched base with that support line we like to buy at is around May 2023, and it reached the peak that pretty much it was down with in November 2024. But the first peak it reached will be the first new high during that June, will be the price that exceeded the previous peak. So that will be somewhere here around September 2024. So more than 1 year, we can just say 1 year, 5 months, or 1 year and a half, or a little bit less than that. That's what it took from the valley to reach the new high. So if you purchase it around the valley line after you start seeing few higher lows, it lingered there for a while and then took off. So after this new high, by default you will sell it. The second strategy will be to see if it's going to continue making higher highs for you to stay in the trade longer, and that will be to compare the last time it breached that point, how long it continued to go up. So from September to November is now March. Therefore, for this instance, for this one, when it reach the all-time new high, we will sell it. So that is how long we will stay in this particular trade. And I don't think the rule will be the same for every single stocks. By default, the rule will be to buy around the valley line and sell it after the new high is reached. But then when you get to that point, you will compare what happened previously to see if that particular stock will continue to go up for a while. If so, you can decide to stay in the trade after that first new high is reached, to stay in the trade for half that time frame, just in case it does not continue to climb the mountain for that same amount of time like before, like during the previous cycle. You can choose to be in the trade for half that time frame. And the third strategy that I implemented to use as well, so that I don't overstay in the trade, will be to compare the lowest price at the valley during that cycle, the lowest price at the valley and the highest price at the peak. Take the highest price by the lowest price to find a ratio and use that ratio times the lowest price that at the at the cycle that you bought it in, to multiply by that amount to estimate the price that you wanted to sell it. In this example, for instance, the lowest price, we can just say that will be 73. So, and the highest price is 200. So we can take 200 divided by 73 is giving us 2.7. So it's going to be more than double the price at the valley. So let's say it pulled back to this line somewhere here. The price is 112. So then we'll take 2.7 times 112. We rounded that ratio. It's giving us 302. So how long should we stay in this trade? Will be regardless of how much we pay for it. When it start going up, depending on how when we got in the trade. If it touch base around 212 and start going up from there, then we can use that 212 times 2.7. It gives us 302. Then we might say that, well, we will stay in this trade until the first new high is reached. And we know that between September and November, we have about 3 months, no, 2 months or so. So stay in the trade for 1 more month, when the price is around $300. So, but because 3 months is not much of a distance there, that's why I'm saying for this particular one, after the first new high is reached, we can just exit the trade. But for some stocks, they might continue to climb the mountain for longer, for 6 months, for 9 months, for 1 year. So decided to stay in the trade for half that time frame, or after a specific price target is reached, could be one way to do it. There is a stock that I sold. I think we are going, let's work on that. There is a stock that I sold this year, but I purchased it last year, and is PWR. MPWR. And MPWR didn't meet that price ratio calculation. So, okay. Arrows on our chart shows us where we purchased when they are facing up, and arrows facing down shows where we sold. So we purchased MPWR in 2024 when we are using short uptrend line swing trading strategy, trading a lot short uptrend lines. That's why you can see those arrows there. And then we bought it again. It went up shortly after that. We didn't sell it, and then it dropped back to this support line. Went up a little bit, but not enough, and then fell back all the way to this valley line. From that point, we didn't buy some more. We just left it and just kept observing it. It continued to go up, and we sold it there. There is an arrow there. So we sold it some days ago, and now it's falling back again. So how long did we stay in this trade? We stay in this trade from October 2024 all the way to October. I think here is August 2024 all the way to October 27. So more than a year to sell it for a profit. So in this instance, when we did that calculation, I noticed that it exceeded the price that I wanted to sell it. So based on my calculation, if we do that together, it left this support line around here. So at 403, the highest peak is 958. So if we take 958 divided by 403, it gave us let's just say 2.3. So 2.3, when it start, so it left this cycle, it started this cycle from here, went to that peak, and of course you can see that it created the new high after it left this area around here in January 2023 all the way to September 2020, January 2024 to September 2024. So you can see how many months right there, 8 months. And then it fell back, the cycle ended here and started again. So in March, okay, so around for this cycle here, the price is 440. So if we use 2.3 times 440, that is 1012. Okay, so if we decided that, okay, so we got stuck in it negative, but it pulled back and started a new cycle. So if we decided that, well, after this peak is breached, oh, let me take the arrow out of there. And let's remove the arrow. Okay, so okay, it breached that price level. We have a new high around somewhere here in October, beginning of October. So we might say that, okay, we'll stay in the trade for half the time frame it did it here. So for 4 months, from October, 4 months will be what? February? Or when the price is around 1012. And I noticed that it didn't reach, we didn't get to that February yet, and the price exceeded already what we were targeting. So for that reason, I noticed that this price, unless it's pulling back to continue going up again, which will make sense if it has been on the rise for a month. So but you'll notice that it will pull back. You can see this sharp pullback here before it continues to go up. It could do it again, but because we purchased it so high here, easily we could become negative again when they pull back sharply. We didn't buy at the valley. For that reason, I made that executive decision to just sell it and lock in my profit here. Again, because 2 of my criteria were met. 1, the first new high. 2nd, the price got exceeded. That 1012 got exceeded. But the second criteria was not met. We have not gone to February yet. But the first criteria and the third one, the new high and then the price criteria, they were met, and we just sold it. So if we go back to our record here and we look for that particular stock, we can see how much profit we made out of it. So it's MPR. We purchased it in October. No, I don't know why I kept saying October. We purchased it in August for $9.40 a share, and we sold it in October 28, a year later, for $1,092 and a share. No fee was charged to us, so we made $455 profit total, or 16% return, and that is $151 profit a share for holding it for over a year. And that could vary from stock to stock because every single one of them has behaves differently. That's why as you are observing the chart, you can make those decisions and then ask yourself if you can put a formula behind that decision that you made, and see if you can use that, apply that formula to another, like find a template formula. That's why I have those three criteria, like a template formula, to guide me to decide when to sell it, so that I don't sell it too quickly and I don't sell it too late. And then apply those three criteria to each one of those stocks that I will purchase to see if it is the time to sell it. And depending on where I purchase it will determine how long I will hold that trade, if that makes sense. So I purchased this one and it pulled back and I didn't sell it for a loss. Therefore, I stayed longer in the trade before it started going up and exceeded where I purchased it for me to sell it for a profit. So now let's go back to what we are analyzing, and we are going to see after BX, which one is the next one we are going to analyze is CASY. Using short option and swing trading strategy last year, I held those stocks for about 3 days or so when things were going well, as I set a small profit to target, and I was just going with that profit. So if we go to 2024, we have amount per trade, minimum profit, and I sold some even when this profit was now reached, and I sold some after this profit were reached, depending on how the chart was fluctuating. And you can see those arrows on CASY here. I purchased a lot in 2024 using short option and swing trading strategy and sold a quarter bit. So you can see it. And then I purchased it in 2025 and sold it. I purchased it around this support line and sold it right after that new high is reached. But guess what? It pulled back and continued to go up because I just felt like I purchased it quite higher up. But you know, these transactions happen at the beginning of the year, but it's still following this support line. I just felt like even though this support line is long and I traded around it in 2024, I just didn't want to take that risk to continue it. But it fell back below this one, which is even longer than this one, and continue. So buying it around this support line could have been a good entry point, but I just feel like it's higher up and I don't know for how long it will be on this rise. So now having a good pattern here to work with, but many stocks I have seen this rise in them. So it has been on this rise for 3 years now. So I don't know if it's going to continue like that or if it's going to try to come back down here. So when it come back here, we might decide to buy some from there if it start going up from there, or depend on how it's showing up. If it breaches, then we might just decide to wait on it here, because at some point it could well decide to come back down here. When, we just don't know. I just feel like this is not too sharp though. It could well keep this as a valley line, but I just feel like it's not long enough and there is a chance it might pull back to this support line, this valley line. But when we are, and yesterday the price went up. The price at the end of the day was higher than the price in the morning. However, by looking at the overall chart, it's going down. So it breached this one, is at this support line. It breached a little bit. I don't know if it's going to want it to go up from there, but it reached a new high not long ago. So it has been, reaching new high. When it left there, it reached it there, pulled back a little bit, reach it there, pull back, and reach it there. So we are going to continue observing it to see. Last time we touched base with this one was at the beginning of 2024 January, and ended in February. So for 1 year it has been on that rise when it left this support line. So when it left it now in March 2025, I don't know if it's going to continue all the way to at least March 2026 before it will come back down to it again. We don't know. We are just going to keep observing it, but we don't want to buy at this trend line. If we'll buy it, it will be either this one or this one. So we are just going to keep observing it, but we know that at some point he might come back down to this one. So if we want to look at where we purchased and where we sold it this year, so we purchased it in January for $417 a share, and we sold it a month later, not even a month, less than a month, for $433 a share. We paid 12 cents fee, and we made $157 profit, or 3%, and that was $15 profit a share on that trade. So one more that we are going to analyze is CATS. So we purchased CATS in 2024 quite a bit as well. And when it pulled back to our support line here, we should have purchased it. We didn't. And now I think we are analyzing it here to buy it, but we didn't purchase it. But guess what? It has been on the rise all the way there. So let's see. Since it started that cycle in April, and still on that rise. So if we come back to last time it touched base with it was in 2023 November, and was done with that rise in November 2024. So about 1 year. So now it left here in April. It could well do that for until April 2026, and then we'll start climbing down. So we'll buy it next time here. And here is the things too, though, knowing once you know well your strategy, when you do not catch a stock where you want to buy it, but you know that it's not done reaching its destination yet, reaching the higher peak, to start living there, you can make a decision to buy some share as well. That would be a risky decision, but those are how together we can stretch ourselves a little bit to take some calculated risk and see how that will pan out, so that we can keep strengthening our skills, sharpening our skills, so that we just don't walk within our comfort zone each time, but we can catch some stocks that we already missed the entry point if we want to and we can afford to. At least we might just buy less share that we will buy otherwise if we enter quick, earlier, or you might decide to buy more because you'll have less profit. Therefore, to increase the profit, decided to buy more share. But then you have to know for sure that even though you are buying at a higher price, it's going to continue going higher for a while. Those are things we are going to train ourselves going into 2026 to do as well, just in case we do not catch a stocks where we want to buy, and and we catch it. Sometimes we might caught it somewhere before the first new high is reached, but this time this one reached that new high multiple times over, and the only things we think that it might continue is because the time frame. If it's taking 1 year to work on this cycle, it could do it. And here's the things: when it left here, it reached that peak. Let's see. So it reached this peak and pulled back sharply to a secondary one before it continued again. So, and if for instance we trace this support line that is going to support this upside wall of the mountain, then to buy it will be to buy it when it pull back to this support line somewhere, and then hope that it's going to go up from there for you to sell it. But again, not overstay in the trade, but it will be more like a short, buying it on a short uptrend line. But this is within a bigger strategy. You are viewing it with based on this long uptrend line. You just miss your window of entry and wanted to catch it somewhere where it is. But that will be another strategy. But I would prefer not to do that, but just keep observing it, because again, we can learn from those. So this conclude, how long should we hold a swing trade? It varies depending on the strategy you are using to swing trade to begin with. And with short up to long swing trading strategy that I used last year, I think the trade 3 days or so was the rule that I have, or $25 profits. And with long up to long swing trading strategy that I'm using this year, I'm staying in the trade for longer, for months. But you can see those arrows here. When everything is going well, I don't know why this is here. When everything is going well, this is a daily chart. Therefore, every single candlestick is a day. We purchase it there, we sold it there. 2 days between them. So, but when things doesn't go well, purchase it pull back on me. I stay in it until it went higher up, and I sold it to make profit on this one. And this one I purchased it and sold it the next day, type of thing. So, depend on the strategy you are using. But it'll be good to try to see that there is a formula template you can deduct from your when you want to sell something, when you want to buy it, to see if you can if you can apply that formula to other stocks in your watch list, to see which one are respecting it and which one are not respecting your formula, and keep tweaking it from there. Thank you so much for watching our videos. We thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your comments, and thank you very much for subscribing to our channel. I'm Afiavi Liberman, creator of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel, and ninasoup.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And swing trading is one way to make money. Just that small, and grow your account from there. Thank you for your time. For more of our swing trading strategy, or for swing trading tips that we share, will you please check the playlist in the description of this video. Thank you for your time.